Now we're looking at how we can place stones in a location to be able to broadcast their energies over a larger area or to be able to correct specific problems in that location. Now, using the vibrational qualities of stones to transform the vibrational qualities of a specific problem area or to create these broadcasts over the larger area is, of course, one of the most ancient vibrational sciences known to humanity, with a lot of evidence throughout the historical record. We can start our exploration of this fifth and final system with noting 3 types of stone functions for use, just as we did for System 4. And so the first of these is detrimental energy extractors and absorbers. So these are the stones, once again, which have the natural capacity to extract toxic vibrations and absorb them into their own structure. Now, as we said before, these are going to require cleaning and clearing on a regular basis so that they do not become saturated with detrimental energies and thereby become unable to absorb any more of the detrimental vibration in the area. So we're going to describe some of the stones with this power in more detail in Part 4, but as we've mentioned previously, this particularly includes stones such as black tourmaline, with the highest quality black tourmaline in the world coming from Orongo, Namibia, and obsidian, this being a gold sheen obsidian, that any form of obsidian will work for this, but we like the sheen obsidians, gold sheen, silver sheen, because visually it adds some lightness to the stone, and energetically it adds a little bit of lightness to what is a very intense, dense stone. And then also in this category, in the quartz family, we would have smoky quartz. Then we have the beneficial energy radiators. These are stones that have beneficial energies to broadcast over the location. And so, of course, these are going to be a very large category. Vast majority of stones that we would use would fit in the category of beneficial energy radiators. And again, many of the stones that we're going to cover in Part 4 would be particularly appropriate for this. So things like the lepidolite, like the iron rose quartz, which is an adaptogenic stone, things of this kind. Also, some forms of lepidolite, if you test them, are adaptogenic because of the lithium content. But really, a huge range of stones would fit in the category of beneficial energy radiators in the space. And then we have energy quality transmuters. And as we've described before, this is particularly the use of things like the indigo gabbro, which again is our favorite stone to use to transmute detrimental energy to beneficial. Works well in any location, works well in electromagnetic lines, earth energy grids. In the natural mineral kingdom, this is really the king of this type of application. And of course, it can be used in a variety of different forms. So in the following sections, we're going to first address methods to directly apply beneficial stone vibrations to a specific problem area. And then we're going to get into methods to create powerful broadcasts of stone vibrations over a larger area. So some of these methods do require training in vibrational radiesthesia to properly apply them, because they're going to require direct vibrational testing. As we've mentioned many times previously, having the ability to do direct vibrational testing with radiesthesia opens up whole vast new worlds of practical work. However, we're aware that many people taking this course do not have that background, and so we will be teaching you many methods which do not require having any specific skills or background and which can be used easily by anyone. Now note that some of the methods that follow could also be done with vibrational tools from various makers of these tools. But for the purpose of this course, based on vibrational science of crystals, we're going to focus on the vibrational inputs from stones. So we start with the direct application methods. So by direct application, we mean placing an item with a beneficial vibrational quality directly on a toxic source, a toxic line, or a toxic zone that's within that location, that's affecting the energy detrimentally in that space. Now, direct application methods, where you put the stone directly on the problem, really does create the best balancing and transformation of that specific toxic source. But it really just works with that one toxic source, and most of the beneficial vibrational quality just goes into the local energy field of that toxic source. It doesn't broadcast beyond it to go into the larger space. So later on we're going to talk about general broadcast methods, and that's going to be methods that are not focused on a specific problem area and will not transmute those problem areas in depth or deal with them in depth the way that the ones we're about to discuss will, but those later broadcast methods will get much more energy out through the entire location, but they're just not focusing all their energy on one particular problem spot. Now, in direct application methods, because it requires the identification of problem spots, many of these methods do require a background in vibrational radiesthesia testing, particularly related to problems that we find in locations with earth energy zones, earth energy grids, grid crossings, finding power spots, things of this kind. And we will not be teaching these skills in this course. This is something that is a very in-depth topic. And the best training for this is the biogeometry foundation training. In the biogeometry foundation training, we go into tremendous detail about specifically how to test for these problem areas and how to correct them, including using different types of vibrational tools coming from the biogeometry system from Egypt. But to really understand how to detect all these things and how to work with them, the best training I've ever seen anywhere in the world is the biogeometry training coming from the work of our friend Dr. Ibrahim Karim. So the first method we want to talk about is transmitting stone vibrations through grid lines. So with the vibrational methods that are particularly taught in the biogeometry foundation training, you would test for the vertical negative green coming from the lines, and you'll find running over locations these vertical negative green lines, these earth energy lines that are running toxic components. Not all earth energy lines are toxic. Some are connected to power spots and are running only the beneficial energy quality of the center, or what's called the BG3 in biogeometry. But what we're concerned with right here is finding particularly those earth energy lines that are running detrimental energy and how to correct them. So of course we would get a pull on the pendulum if we're detecting those with the vertical wave pendulum. And so when we find these toxic grid lines, we can use a direct application method to correct them. And as mentioned, one of our favorite tools is going to be the use of indigo gabbro. And again, it has many different forms, whether it's in the form of a free form or a slab or spheres or eggs or all types of forms we now are able to get the indigo gabbro in. Now, the reason why we use indigo gabbro primarily on these earth energy problems is that it will actually transmute the problem on the line from a detrimental energy quality to a beneficial energy quality. And the indigo gabbro holds up very well against the detrimental energy of the line to keep doing this process. You're still going to need to come by from time to time and clean it and clear it, as we described before. But it, as we said earlier, is the closest thing that we have to a self-clearing stone. And again, it works very, very well to help to transmute detrimental vibrations to beneficial.